Hello everybody, and welcome to the first video on my channel. I am Cooper, the professional artist. I'm an amateur artist. Professional is just my name. You know, you fake it till you make it. Um, and yeah, today, I figured I'd celebrate National Batman Day, even though I'm recording this the day beforehand. And I'm going to be drawing Batman. He's the person, or he's not the person, he's the character that inspired me to want to draw to begin with. So I figured it'd be pretty fitting. I'm going to be copying a David Finch video where he's just talking about drawing from reference based off of other comic book artists. So I have 4 comics with me here. I have one by Dan Mora, not one with art by Dan Mora from the World's Finest series. One with art from Norm Brayfogle. And then I'm going to try to copy the end of this one. This majority of this one is it's not Jim Lee's art, but the very end is. So I'm going to be copying the end. You didn't need to see it. You didn't even see it. And then I'm going to try to collar it. And I'm going to be basing my collars off of George Perez. Well, this is Alex Ross. Alex Ross's art for the cover, but inside the book is George Perez's art. Look, I flipped right to Batman. So yeah, I'm going to try to copy his collars, and we'll see how it looks. So the goal of this is to you want to take different aspects from these different books, and you want to work through them. I'm not going to work through them as much as David Finch did. I'm just going to pick a pose. I might add a little bit of extra flair to it. Yeah. So let's get started on that. I think I'm going to go with just the standard stance here. Just him standing straight up. I like the way cape flows in the wind. I could probably copy Superman's cape, the way it moves. See, I think I'll go with that. I wonder if you guys can hear that motorcycle out there. It's loud. All right, so whenever I'm drawing, I'm hoping you guys can see that well. I mean. I usually start with the core of the character. And the reason why I do that is because it helps me with the scale. It helps me understand the scale very well. I think I'm going to cut though. I'll cut 2 when I'm finished with this frame. Okay, so I got a frame worked out pretty well, I think. It's looking decent, but this is basically how I get everything put into place. Is there anything I should probably add? Oh, I always make sure after I finish the legs, I add a little spot for the knee. It just helps me visualize the shins a little better. I've noticed I've given him some pretty long thighs. Let's see. It's always good to hold it up. Make sure you're not stretching out the art too much. It definitely has some long thighs. I wonder if I like this a little better. And I always kind of try to emulate the shape of the limb that it's going for, but I had that in after I have that little framework figured out. Don't want to go too heavy on the lines. Okay. Yeah, I like that better. It looks a little more. Yeah, I like it. The next part, I'm going to be copying I'm going to be drawing it in my own style, but I'm going to try to copy Norm Brayfogle's style. So by that, I just mean I'm going to copy his like costume design. Because I really like Norm Brayfogle. I feel like it's an underrated run. This is the Anarchy. This is the end of the Anarchy story. Okay. Let's got a lot of Bruce Wayne so far. Here we go. But yeah, like, look, his Batman just looks monstrous, you know? It's like this, I don't know, it's like a fable. It's like you're looking at a fable. The cape is just so, it's like its own character. And I don't know if he was borrowing from Todd McFarlane or not. I don't know if that was an influence of his. And just look at how dynamic the poses are. I mean, even him just standing over a gargoyle, just, you know, just kind of looking. I mean, check this out. This is like super crazy pose that he hits right there. But then look at that, it's super imposing Batman, and the way he draws this little hook on the cape. I kind of want to incorporate that little hook into my drawing. Yeah, so I'm going to try to incorporate those different things into this. See how I do. Whenever I'm drawing a face, I like to get the chin down. It just gives me an idea of where I'm going. Well, I don't really like to get the chin down. I use this circle right here. It tells me where I want the chin, really. First thing, I'm gonna draw a line, indicate the brow. All right, I just went through a bunch of different things, try to get that nailed down. This is the best I could do. That's the most I've struggled with face in weeks. I think it's just because I'm on camera. All right, let's see. So now I'm just gonna go about outlining the rest of the head, or the rest of the body. Yep, and I want to incorporate more parts of his suit into this drawing. I'm gonna go ahead and draw the traps right here. Right now I'm laying down dark colors for outlines. And I'm gonna go ahead and draw his shoulders. And I'm just putting down some chicken scratches, kinda. I mean, these are not the final lines. These are just more detailed than the last ones, you know, so just get it down. That looks a little better. He has a nice little ankle bone looking structure right there. I might start using that. One of the things David Finch was talking about in his video, which you should watch. If you really want to learn how to do it, you should watch him do it. But one of the things he talked about was learning little tricks from the other artists. And Dan Mora does his ankles like that. These like two little lines, and that it looks pretty decent. Might start using that for everything. Or I might just do what Dan Mora did and draw a fist. Yeah, fist looks good, right? I could even just drape the cape over it and not worry about drawing a hand anymore. But I don't know. I don't want to take the easy way out. So I'll just draw that fist, right? We're not going to take the easy way out. We're just going to draw a fist. All right. And now's where I get serious and I start copying actual aspects of the costume. So let's see here. I'm going to actually start detailing the inside of his face here, or of the rest of this drawing. All right, so let's see what I can come up with. Starters, the cape, it hooks up like this, and that's just a fold. So I'm gonna get that kind of fold on mine. I don't think I'm going to start with the shoulder though. I think the best way to start the cape here is to just go like that, boom. So I can decide which angle it's coming from. And I think I'm going to have it drape around in like this. So it's going to cover the shoulder, but it's not going to completely cover. It's not going to drape down too far. And then I'm going to have it go, since he's turning this direction, I'm going to have it kind of wrap around the arm like that on this side. I like that. I do. I like that. It's not too bad. The thing is now the cape is going to have to flow this direction though, because it's pulling more this way. And let's look at how he draws a bat symbol. These bat symbols, he draws the oval, but the bat symbol in the oval is like really big. So I'm going to try to incorporate that symbol, but I don't know. The blue and gray is coming back. People are liking the blue and gray costume again. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really done the blue and gray, so I'll go ahead and do it. I'm going to try to copy this bat symbol. So it's an oval. I want to make it real big. Okay, I'm going to finish up the rest of this, and we'll see how it looks. All right, we're right at the end of my final pencils here, and I'm thinking with the way that his cape's shaped right now, the wind would be blowing it mostly behind him. So I'm trying to work that out in my head, what exactly that would look like. And I'm thinking I can draw like a little line right here. Maybe kind of outline it just a little bit like that. Around. So I'm liking this a lot. This is looking pretty decent. But yeah, the cape, it's blowing behind him because now if it was blowing to the side, then this would be pulled up over here. If it was blowing, if it wasn't blowing, it would just drape down. So this looks good. The way that this is, yeah, I like that. It's smaller, but I feel like it captures the motion of what his cape is usually supposed to portray. Now I gotta get that shape out of it. Like you know it's Batman's because it's got the ribs. I'm not really doing it in any. I'm not really thinking too much right now. I feel like I should be maybe. I'm just kind of feeling out where I think the cape should go. And you know what? I want to pull it in just a little bit right here. Have that little hook. I feel like that's cool. I'm just trying to be expressive with the way that the cape looks at the moment. And yeah, that looks decent to me. Okay. So yeah, the next step will be erasing it and inking over it. So I'm just going to skip to when that's done as well, because it's that is a process. That is a long, boring process. So in this part of the process, I just went ahead and erase with the kneaded eraser. Just take this little guy right here, you roll him around, and then I'm gonna start putting a pin around it. But I wanna find light sources that are coming from behind him, because I wanna black out the cape behind him. I just don't wanna have to fill in that detail, if I'm being honest. It's just a lazy decision. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for stuff that's coming from this direction. There's a couple of drawings right here. You notice it's actually really cool. The lighting has continuity. This is good. These are all good to take inspiration from. But then if I wanted to look at this one, now the lighting's coming from this direction, you know. So that's, I'm going to be looking at these three, or these, kind of, where the lighting is coming from behind. So, I'm going to get started on inking. You know, the thing that originally drew me to Batman, if I had to guess, it would be the way he looks. It's just, the costume's so cool. It's always been cool to me, even when I was like 3 years old. It's like, wow, that's a really cool costume. And I would just draw pictures of it, you know, my whole life. And I don't know, I guess growing up, the thing that tied me to his character the most, I watched the Justice League show a little bit. I have faint memories of it, you know. And I have a few memories of watching Batman the Animated Series. But the show that I really watched, and I mean I really watched it, was The Batman. It was the 2000s The Batman show. And it was awesome. It's an absolutely amazing show. Then you have Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, that, you know, Robin, having him there to help, and Young Justice too, man. All great shows. That's what really got me invested in the character. And now, as I'm growing up, I'm liking him even more. You know, it's crazy. It's like, you know, you think you grow out of it, but I'm growing into it now. It's like I'm starting to understand, like, the concepts of it better, like what Batman represents as a character, which I'm pretty sure is justice. I'm pretty sure he's justice. If you look at the Trinity, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, I think it's supposed to be justice, hope, and compassion. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about Wonder Woman. Yeah, you can call me sexist if you want. I don't know too much about her. If you want to blame anybody, you can blame my mom. She never showed me any Wonder Woman shows or anything like that growing up. Wonder Woman was always cool on Justice League, though. I do remember that. Um, yeah, and then, you know, now I'm old enough I get to buy my own things. And I had comics growing up. I got to read a little bit of the New 52 and Rebirth. And my dad has a bunch of the original World's Finest comics. And I've read like a couple of those. Real campy stories, real fun. Nothing too crazy. But my love for the comic side, it didn't really start until maybe around like 1918. I've read stories like Batman Universe. I have all these other comics right here, you know. And Batman the Long Halloween, so good. Want to get Year One. So far, I know the plots, you know, but I don't know, you know, like I haven't learned the lessons. It's like reading The Long Halloween. I knew the plot going into it. Like I knew who the killer was already. It was already spoiled for me. But then reading it, it's like my interpretation of it. I drew that knuckle way too big. Dang. Dang. Draw another knuckle right next to it. It kind of alleviates the issue. But reading The Long Halloween, it's not. It's a crime thriller, you know, and it's supposed to be based off of The Godfather. But I think it's a origin for Gotham, because you have like Year One, you get to see Batman, you know, that's his origin. But I think it's like you're seeing all these crazies just coming out of the woodwork now, you know? Like each issue has a different villain. And it's so good. I don't know. That's how I view it. It's like it's an origin for the Gotham that we know as readers, like what we expect from Gotham. I think it sets that up, and it's a wonderful book. I mean, it really is. Right, so whenever I'm inking, I have like a 3 process kind of thing that I do. I use this ball pen. I'd like to use something else. Then the Micron, the Micron just gets great lines. Like, look at this. That's great. But yeah, that's typically what I'm going for. And then I move on to my markers. I use Hotu. I'm on a budget. Oh, forgot I put all my inking stuff. I was like, where's my other pen and my other Micron at? But then I move on to this, and I'm trying to copy this kind of look. So I'm gonna have to. I like the way that he's blacked out the face entirely right here. But I'm gonna use this page as the main reference. Alex Ross, this guy, the guy that made this cover. He just recently, it was like this reel that's circulating around. He's inking. I don't know. It's confusing to me. He's talking about, I like the inking process. It's it's when you know that it's final. He says, I like the relief that it gives me knowing that it's done. I don't like the inking process. I mess up right here. Like I messed up right there. I did good on these parts, but I messed up right there. And the lips, like it just ruins it for me. And I'm probably gonna mess up again somewhere else. So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like messing up, but it's good to practice it, The more you practice, the better you get, the less you mess up. So yeah, I'm gonna try to copy what he's doing here. I also left a comment on that video. I was like, "You ink?" It's confusing to me. I didn't know he inked. I didn't think that was his style. All right, I'm putting the finishing touches on him now. One thing, he doesn't really shade in like the abdominal region too much. There's not a lot of crazy shading on the body, but there is on the cowl and the cape. So I'm gonna try to match his shading on the cowl. Let's see. This is where the rubber hits the road. You can get real bad real quick right here. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm looking at it in a good way. I'm just gonna dig in. Yeah, right. He tends to shade under the eye. That shading's pretty prominent. A lot of people dog on this fine nib or the fine tip brush. I actually kind of like it. I think it gets into these small spots real well. It's not as good at corners and things like that. If you need a small spot taken care of, this is your go-to, I think, anyway. We got the whole thing shaded. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't going that crazy. Ooh! This is the tough part. Like I said, it's where the rubber meets the road. I'm gonna go ahead and fill out the sides here. I am not using that brush. I'm gonna make some big mistakes. leave the inside. Fine. That's not, it's a little rough. Just a little though. Nothing too crazy. Now, how's he shading under the neck? That's what I want to see. You can't really see how he shades under the neck. So I'm going to go look at other artists, how they shaded under the neck. Yeah. Now the question is, should I add the same kind of effect to his boots and his... You know what, I'm going to. Oh, a show I forgot to mention earlier, Batman Brave and the Bold. Oh my god, dude. I love that show. I even had the video game on the Wii. It's amazing. In my first video game ever, I even forgot to mention that. It was Lego Batman. But that didn't really like help me form an idea of who the character was. That was just, you know, I was Batman, so. And okay, so that's the inking done. And now I'm gonna go look at Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I'm just gonna look at how he draws colors Batman. I think it'd be like issue 3 inside this book. Batman shows up. Here we go. So it's like cell shaded. You got highlights, simple lights and darks. I don't know if they recolored this, which, I mean, I don't even think. Yeah, George Perez. I don't even think George Perez colored it. So I don't know whose colors I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm just looking at how it was colored on Crisis. And it's just simple cell shading. Now, the question is, do I really want to do that? And I'm thinking no. I'm just going to go for a solid gray color, maybe. And a solid blue color. And we can call it a day. Now, the thing with markers is you got to retrace. And I don't have waterproof pens, so I have to be very careful with the bleed. It's the Micron is pretty decent. It's still not waterproof either. And this is why people don't like the fine tip pen. It's because it shows the marks. You know, and that is a solid complaint you can make about them. This is just yellow and white. It looks so cool. I know I've seen art like this before. It's just the yellow and the hard inks, but I don't know. I gotta add that little bit of color. And that right there looks cool. Just that alone. I like that a lot. Might be the thumbnail. Let me put it to the side. Let me grab a pin so it looks like I'm doing something. Thumbnail. This is gonna be a long video. Long video. And you can watch it while you sleep. I'm hoping you watch it while you sleep. It'd be great for me. Great for... Whoa! Did you see this? You see how close I came to disaster? I need to put this thing... Oh, wait. What? This is gray. Why is the brush so dark? I thought I was holding black. I'm going to put the black up anyway, just because that would have been terrible. All right. Laying the gray down. It'd be nice if I had a lighter gray, because then the problem, I only have 50 colors. I don't really feel like they mix too well. There's no light grays, so that kind of sucks. Because I would lay down a light gray first if I had it, and then I would use this over top of it and give it that cell shaded look. Which I can kind of do like a smooth look with this. Certain parts will be more saturated than others. That's one cool thing about markers. You can add in your own saturation. You can do the same thing with watercolors. I thought about watercolor. Watercolors are probably cheaper too. But I have reason I don't paint, like do watercolors and stuff, which if there was like a different format I could probably do. I don't know. But the reason I don't do it is because I have trimmers in my hands. Like that's as steady as I can hold my hand. And it's just trying to make like fine details with a brush. It always goes wrong for me because I'll get down to like the paper and then I'll shake. It's like the details ruin it, you know. That's one thing I like about the Micron is it flows, you know. And it's one thing I like about these markers because you just add your brush strokes. This might be a little bit of a shameless plug. The reason I switched over to markers instead of colored pencils is because I wanted, I'll be honest, I'm just lazy. Yeah, you could get good colors out of colored pencils, but I wanted it to be done, you know. And that shows on me. It shows on my part. I am a little lazy. Can't deny it. But at the same time, this is the look I was trying to get with the color pencils, you know? I wanted solid colors. I wanted to do cell shading. And doing that with colored pencils, it consumes so much time. Look at how I use the gel pen on the bicep and it's bleeding. Oh man, that's okay. But yeah, and this you just coat over it while you're coloring, and boom, it's done. It's like nothing to worry about, and it's built-in cell shading, you know. Now the thing with watercolors, another thing is it's not very forgiving. So if you use too much water, you're kind of screwed. Oh, man, I half want to just leave it. I wish I had like this real dark gray. I could just go in and that would just be the color of the cape. Because I love these collars with each other. It looks amazing. I've seen some people, they put their collars down first and then they ink. That just seems so backwards to me. It's like it's like a coloring sheet, you know, you need the lines. But I guess, you know, if you prepare ahead of time, then you can do that. This is one dark skinned Batman. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that looks natural or not. He looks a little sickly. But I don't have any like decent like light skin colors. And I had to go out and buy a brown. So I might have to go out and buy like a real light peach to get that color. All right. Time to lay down the blue. Let's see. We'll see what it looks like. I'd be doing this for hours to get this much saturation out of a colored pencil. I'd be doing this for hours. But if I had lighter colors, I think it would look really cool if I mix the mediums. I don't have a lot of light colors, so that's fine. No reason to complain. At least I got it, you know? And that's great to have it. This is awesome. All right, I want to make sure that my brush strokes are matching the contour of the cape because I don't want it to look all streaky and out of sync. Yeah, that's not looking bad. Yeah, I know I spent a good amount of time complaining. No, this is awesome. This is yeah. Having the markers, like I'm still getting used to them. They're awesome. I like to do more cell shaded stuff, but you know, the colors they don't. With blues I could definitely do it, but the problem with adding cell shading to like the cape, I can't add it anywhere else on the drawing. Like I don't have a gray that's not too dark or too light, you know. There's a lot of range of motion. And that's how they get you with the markers. Because they go out fast and they're all expensive. Like these are like $2 a piece. So it's a $50 marker set. I think it was like $1 a marker. Yeah. 5 rows of 10. Still, This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous the amount of money these things cost. And that's one thing with watercolors. You can kind of get like the same look with watercolors, and it's a lot cheaper. The only difference is the skill level needed. No, I might actually just start using them. But hey, I should get better at these first. If I'm not good at using alcohol markers, then why in the world would I be good at using paintbrush? Boom. That's it. That is the piece all colored. So there you go. Here are the 3 comics I used, plus kind of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now all that's left is adding the signature. Oh. All right. Happy 85 years, Batman. Holy crap. It's a long time. And can't go without saying thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you stayed till the end. And you can watch as many times as you want if you want to get to the end. You don't have to watch the whole thing in one go. But that's pretty much all. Yeah.